to be under the bright lights. I want to be on the Broadway stage.
Tiger Rag Radio is on now.
Hey, back here on Tiger Rag Radio, Jeff Palermo along with the executive editor for Tiger Rag Magazine, Todd Horn, and the editor, Glenn Gilbo. Jackson Blackman, our producer. Right now, one of the most busiest men in sports joins us, and that is the head coach for the LSU men's basketball team, Matt McMahon. He's shuffling the coaching staff. He's signing guys left and right out of the transfer portal. Coach McMahon, have you been getting any sleep here lately?
No, we'll sleep sometime this summer, I hope. But there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm really, really thrilled with the progress that's been made here in the last 2 weeks for sure.
Well, Matt, if your phone rings and there's another guy in the portal, feel free to hang up and you can call us back.
Well, that's
insanity, Glenn.
That's actually a good segue, Matt, because my question is, how many more of these portal guys are you going to sign? Because you've got 5 free agents in the door right now. You got 3 coming back from the roster, and you got 3 top recruits coming in. By my count, that's 11. You need at least a couple more players, I would think.
Yeah, I think that's the question. There's certainly more work to be done there, but I also think you're trying to balance in this new age of salary cap. I don't think it's realistic to space all the dollars out amongst 15 players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's the right formula. So we certainly want to do a good job here finishing the roster. We still need another perimeter player that can really shoot it. I've been thrilled with the size that we've added to our front court, but also to our back court, positional size there, and then an elite point guard in DJ Thomas. So thrilled with what's happened to this point, but still a little bit more work to do, certainly.
So you speak of size, you've got Robert Miller at 6'10" coming back. You've got Jalen Reed at 6'10" coming back. You've got Matt Gilhall coming in as a recruit freshman. He's 6'10", and then of course Nwoko is 6'10", and then you've got 6'9" Sutton, Markel Sutton, who's in the transfer portal. So you still looking for another 6'10" guy, or what?
No, you can never have enough of those guys, but we obviously wanted to address the physicality and toughness that this league requires in the front court. Obviously, the rebounding issues that we suffered from, not having positional size down the board. And so, I really like what we've been able to do there. And Nwoko grades out as one of the top rebounders in the country per minute, as well as shot blockers per minute last season. Thrilled with the progress Jalen Reed is making. I think Rob Miller's poised to take a huge jump. And then to add Markel Sutton this week was critical for us. I just love what he's about. High motor, high energy, 6'9", 225 pounds, great length, and, is proven. Obviously he's got to make the jump moving up in level, but a guy that, 18.5 points a game, 8 rebounds, I think he's going to bring a lot to our front court as well.
This might be an unfair question, Coach, but was there a guy that when you saw his name pop up in the transfer portal and you started studying your tape and you're saying, man, I know you like all the additions, so I'm kind of asking you here to maybe single somebody out, but is there someone you're saying, man, I wonder if we can get this guy. I don't know if we can get this guy. And then you got him. Is there one of those kind of instances, or maybe it's happened multiple times here?
Well, I love them all, but I've just always been such a believer in the point guard position and the importance that carries in the program as the quarterback of your team. And DJ Thomas is a guy I loved out of high school. He ended up reclassing moved up a year to go to UNLV a year early and stayed home, but a 2-time All Mountain West player. A guy that's just so crafty and creative, off the dribble, an electric point guard. And I just think there's such value in that position. So we were thrilled to be able to beat out a lot of really good programs to bring him into the fold.
Right. One of those was Kentucky, I think. And
Kentucky and Florida.
Kentucky and Florida. Did you feel like you had an advantage because you weren't playing while you were getting him?
I don't know necessarily. I hear people say that. I still think it's an advantage when you're in the Sweet
Sure.
16 and Final Fours. I mean, there's no better advantage than that. And so we want to build to that, obviously. But I do think we were able to get him to campus on a visit early in the portal. I think he saw the vision and the opportunity to come in here and be the quarterback of the team. And I think he also liked, some of the returning pieces in our front court coming back, and was confident in what we could build around him. And so I thought he was just such a critical piece to what we're building here.
Coach, when you talk about Thomas and you talk about the point guard and the type of player he is, he's like 6'1". You always favor having a great point guard, and you've had a lot of success with point guards through your career coaching. But you got a kid coming in named Jalen Reese, who is one of the top point guards, will be one of the top freshmen in the country coming in. He seems to me to play a lot like Thomas does. Is that intentional, or would you like him working with Thomas coming in? How do you foresee that playing out?
Yeah, really excited about Jalen. He just was selected for the Jordan Brand All-Star game next week, which was a tremendous honor for him, and great cap to his high school career. I think he's going to be an outstanding player for us. The thing I've learned over the years, I think when you can have multiple guys on the floor that are decision makers and creators, and make the people around them better, the more the merrier. And I even look back when I had John Moran as a freshman. We had a senior point guard on that team that averaged 21 points and 5 assists a game, and so we played the two of them together, and it was very successful for us. So we'll see how it all plays out through the summer and fall. But I think the better your point guard play, always say it. The best compliment you can give a point guard is they make everyone around them better. That's the most important part of the job, and I think both of those guys can do that for us.
Matt, were you at all 3 Final Four games over the weekend?
No, I was watching film and making phone calls and sitting on Zooms. But I did get a chance to watch them, and obviously high level games.
Yeah, all 3 close. I was just wondering what your thoughts were of some of the action, particularly the Florida Auburn game, the 2 SEC teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just speaks to the strength of the league this year, and there was a little bit of doubt with the SEC back up the strength of the regular season and into the postseason, and 8 teams getting to the second round, 7 teams to the Sweet 16, and 4 in the Elite 8 and 2 in the Final Four. And congratulations to Florida on the national championship. I just, by the numbers, the most historic and impressive season the league's ever had in the history of college basketball. But the games were phenomenal. Florida, Walter Clayton, you talked earlier in the show about the importance of point guard play. He proved to be the best player, or best guard at least, in the country when it mattered the most. So credit to him and Florida for their resiliency to find a way to win it all.
And I think we got to give Matt some credit, Coach. You last time you were on our show, you actually picked Florida to win the national championship, and mainly because of Clayton. But just one quick thing about Clayton, he was a 0-star guard coming out of high school.
That's correct. I mean, that's the one thing that really stood out. I'm watching the end of that Auburn-Florida game late, and 9 of the 10 players on the floor were not recruited by the Power Five.
Wow.
Coming out of high school. The game has changed, but obviously you see his age, his experience. I mean, even looking at the first-team All-Americans this year, there were 3 out of the SEC. Mark Sears started his career at Ohio. Walter Clayton started his career at Iona. Janai Broome started his career at Morehead State. And so evaluation of players in this portal era becomes so critical, and it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the 5-star guy or the Power 5 to Power 5 transfer. I think when you see these older, experienced players that have produced, have impacted winning, and had great success, there are opportunities out there for them to translate that to the Power 5 level now.
Couple more minutes here with LSU men's basketball coach Matt McMahon. I wanted to ask you, by my count, there's 3 holdovers, right, from last year's team, and Curtis Givens and Robert Miller and Jalen Reed. How do you see them fitting into what you're trying to put together for next season?
Well, they fit the culture that we want to build, high character people that are committed to the hard work and unselfishness that winning requires. Jalen Reed, just battling through. That's the one thing I do miss about the new era of college basketball now. It's going to be his 4th year in the program, 4th year getting to coach them.
Yeah.
You saw the jump he made from year 1 to year 2, and then the massive jump from year 2 to year 3 before the unfortunate injury. But I just love that relationship piece of it, seeing him battle through the adversity. He's working like crazy on his rehab and in the weight room, and I expect him to come back better and stronger than ever before. And then I think you saw, with Rob Miller, just the unlimited potential there at 6'11", 7'4" wingspan. Had some breakout games, the 19-10 performance against Florida. You saw him shoot the ball from behind the three-point line better when we got into league play. And then courtesy of the experience that he got this year is just priceless. So I think we talked about it last time on the show. You're really dealing in those 3 buckets as you build a roster in today's game. And, the first piece of that is retention. And then you get to your high school class, and then, like we just talked about here in the spring, free agency and the transfer portal.
One of my favorite players during my time watching LSU, and I've been covering the program covering LSU athletics since 2000, is Ronald Dupree. So it's pretty cool to see him come back. Tell us about just bringing him back, and he's going to serve as general manager for the listeners out there, kind of give us an idea of exactly what that role will be.
So fired up about this. I think Ronald's a guy who you'll see be a general manager in the NBA one day. And we were fortunate because of his love of LSU, the experience that he had here and his dreams of making an impact on the program that was so good to him that he would leave a director of global scouting position with the Milwaukee Bucks to come back to his alma mater and make an impact. So, roster construction, salary cap, as the college game evolves to more of the professional model, his experience from a scouting and player development and roster construction, dealing with the agents, is going to be just priceless for our program as we move forward.
Coach, what kind of input did he have on constructing this particular roster, if any?
We shared a lot of ideas through the interview process, but his hire was not official till yesterday. So, I learned a lot from him and just going through how they manage every detail of the organization at the NBA level. And I think the wisdom, knowledge, and experience that he brings is going to be so impactful, not just for our players and not just future recruits, but also for our staff. He has such great knowledge of how this works. And then I think when you're talking about a guy who's one of the best players ever to play here, the opportunity as a mentor for our players is going to be huge for us moving forward.
Hey, Coach McMahon, thanks a lot for your time. Once again, we appreciate it and look forward to some more announcements as far as additions on the transfer portal. Get back at it.
We're excited. Let's keep it rolling. Thanks so much for having us on.
Spring is sprung, the grass is riz, I know where the library is. What's happening at the library? The 19th annual One Book, One Community series celebrating sports and youth mentorship with Jeffrey Marx's best-selling book, Season of Life. Join the library for events and activities for all ages in March and April. For details, spring over to readonebook.org. That's READONEBOOK.org.